Hello, welcome back to my channel, Plan with KP. I'm Kimmy. Today's video was recommended by Cal, so if you like it, drop a comment down below to tell her that you are excited about this video. It feels a little weird and out of my normal Plan with Me territory. Today we are going to talk about my favorite / most used planner supplies. First off, this is probably cheating, but I'm going to go with my Erin Condren Life Planner. I've got the vertical layout, and I've been using one of these for years and years and years and years. It's just got the best paper quality, and it's just a great size. It is very flexible. These little, I think it's 1.5 by 2 inch Post-its. I'm not really sure the exact size, and I'm not going to measure it. Everyone has seen these, but they fit absolutely perfectly in these little boxes width-wise. And I think this is just super handy if you mess up on anything. It's great for pre-planning. My only complaint is this terrible calendar here in the corner. I'm hoping one of these days they will remove it. I love the Flora design though, and these are just fantastic planners. I love it. To go along with that, I guess I'll do a sneak peek. So this is the most recent planner spread. You know what, guys? I'm gonna pull this bottom layer out of the way because it's kind of obnoxious holding things on top. This was my planner spread for this week. I've recently purchased these little bookmarks that Erin Condren sells. I just don't like these as much as the traditional like clear ruler. I've been contemplating switching it out, but I've only been trying this one for probably 3 or 4 days now, and I feel like I need to give it more of a shot. As of right now, I'm definitely recommending you get these clear ones instead of the little guys. I also use stickers a bunch, so I've got a couple sticker items. So hands down, Happy Planner has the best stickers in my opinion. They are cheap, relatively speaking. I think it's about $20 for each of these little books, and if I'm going to be putting them in my planner, I want them to be nice and something that I enjoy. And I think Happy Planner just makes the best bang for your buck. So this entire front section here is all Happy Planner stickers, and then all of these here are Happy Planner stickers. I like the Erin Condren ones to an extent. My issue, which I'm talking about them because that's this set right here, my issue is they don't fit the planners, or at least not the planner that I have, and I don't know why. It seems pretty straightforward to me that Erin Condren stickers should fit perfectly within the Erin Condren planner, but they do not. Let me see if I have an example. So here is the Erin Condren sticker, and they don't line up fully with the sidebar. Here's another one, and it looks like it should be sized the same, but there's this little gap here. These little guys are also too short. They only take up about 2/3 of the distance across, and I just don't understand. I'm not sure if it's supposed to match with the horizontal layout, and maybe that's why I have issues, because I'm not cool enough to have the horizontal and have it match, but even still, those are like big boxes. So I don't know where they came up with this sizing, but it's garbage. The stickers are really nice though, or at least the ones that come in the books. Next in line would probably be Fancy Plans Co. This is made by Kita from At Home with Kita, and she has just these functional stickers. And clearly I have a preference for certain styles over others, like these little dots and things I don't really use, but the boxes are definitely one of my favorites. Sorry, my Happy Planner stickers don't necessarily always match this, which is kind of unfortunate. It doesn't have to, and it's not her job, but that's really the only reason I don't use these more, because this is a beautiful color that I'm not sure is all that easy to match with. The green shows up very regularly elsewhere. That's close enough. I use a bunch of it. This blue is weird. It's beautiful and I like it, but I don't really know what to use that with. So those are essentially untouched for the most part. This again is probably one of my favorite colors. It is absolutely beautiful And again, it's so hard to match because it's just a weird color. I feel like a jerk saying that because I love this stuff, but harder to match equals less usage. But this is in general very, very functional. It's designed to be, it's functional pastels, but this is really, really great. I also have a reusable sticker book. This has just a miscellaneous set of stickers in here. I do not like taking stickers to put them in here. Like, it took forever to line them up, but once they're in here, I really, really think it's handy. Since we talked about sticky notes earlier, we're just going to get these out of the way next. These big ones, I think are Post-it brand. I think they are all Post-it brands. So I'm a snob and I like real Post-it brand, apparently. This one I got just actually all of them. I saw it in Target one day and I just decided I needed to have them. But these are just so nice. I hardly ever use the actual time on them, but I like how big they are. And when the day's done, you just peel them up and move on. These little guys are also a really great size. They're not quite, but almost the same distance that I like on these big ones, except they're a little bit stumpier. And I don't know, I think I've used most of the orange ones, and I don't think it's because I necessarily love the 1, 2, 3 more. I think it's just the color. Next, we are going to jump in this little pouch. This is my favorite like pen holder. This is Vera Bradley. The color is like I picked it because I liked the color, but is it my favorite Vera Bradley pattern? Absolutely not. But it just fits everything so well. You can put a ton of things in here. These are all of the items I wanted to talk about. One specific thing I want to mention, this highlighter, it's actually a marker. I'm going to call it a highlighter. I will talk about it later, but it does fit in here just fine. I have other pencil cases that are a little bit shorter for normal pen size, and because of that, the Tombos don't fit. So because we're talking about it, we'll go to the Tombow next. So this Tombow is the 942. It's a marker that has 2 different sides. It's got this big fat one that I use as a highlighter, and then this little skinny one that I sometimes use as a marker. I really, really, really like this color because it's very neutral and it's a very pastel. It's not, how do I explain this? It's very light. Like pastel kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like pinks and blues and like pastel colors. I don't know if I mean, I guess it's a color, but kind of not really. It's just a color, but I like how pale it is. That's a good description. It's pale. The only thing is, I don't like working with this funny brush end. I feel like I get very inconsistent thickness on lines, and that's probably user error, but apparently I'm too stupid to work this and I need something a little more functional. What I would like is something like this in a mild liner format with like just the generic chisel tip. Is that what this is called? I think mild liner came out with a color similar to this. I saw in a video somewhere that mild liner came out with a neutrals pack, I think, and it is very, very appealing, but I have so many crafting supplies as is, I'm not sure I need to pick them up right this minute. But should this one ever get used up and or dry out, that's definitely on the list. While we're on the topic of mild liners, these are my 4 favoriteest colors by them. The gray and the brown are just neutral and they match everything. Plus my planner is gray on the inside, the Erin Condren, and so that's very nice to feel matchy-matchy, but sometimes brown's just way better than gray. I'm sorry, but it is. I wish the brown were lighter because this is very dark, and I feel like sort of with the dark gray, hold on, let me grab it. When you highlight with these two, you kind of can't read much behind it. So they tend to be like, instead of check marking things off, I have been known to highlight my items, and then when it's like a dark line, you can't really see through it. The bad thing is if you want to see your plans, then you can't see them. So I don't use them that much for actual highlighting for important things. It's usually to cross things off of a list and or for decoration purposes, because believe it or not, this brown actually matches a lot of Happy Planner stickers. And then mint is my favorite color, and I really like this yellow. It's not fluorescent, It's not too pale. It's actually a really nice color. So I have repurchased this yellow one and this gray one before. And then this green, I have other mint greens, so I have not had to repurchase it, but this is definitely a favorite. The only color I wish I had, and I'm not sure if they make it or not, is I want coral. My two favorite colors are mint and coral, and I feel like they have enough colors, it probably exists, but again, I have enough supplies, I don't need it right now, just something on the very, very long future wish list. Since we are on highlighters, these are one of my most used brands of highlighters. These are the Friction Pastels, and I love the colors. They're muted and pastel, but they're not, how do I explain this? This one is brighter than this one. So bright, not as bright. Okay, it's not that obvious there, I guess. Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. But these guys are fantastic. The only thing to be aware of is that they are a Friction product. With Friction items, you have to be very, very careful. I really like to sit next to my heater, and in doing so, I have had papers erase when they are erasable with heat. So if you live somewhere like Arizona, you may or may not like these because your papers can erase in the middle of the day when it's really hot out, or if you leave your planner in the car and the car heats up, something like that. Same thing, I have the Friction pen in here just as a reminder. I pulled these other ones out of my art box earlier just for the sake of showing you that I do keep many on hand. I love these things. Again, it's erasable, so you have to be careful with heat. I like them a lot for daily lists and things where I do not intend to keep it long term. That way, if I sit by the heater and it erases, it's not a big deal. I used one in a planner spread back in October, I believe. I want to say it was a Halloween week, and they came in very, very handy because I should have practiced before making that video and I did not. So one of the perks of a Friction pen right there, I'll leave the link down below for that video. The reason I don't use these more on camera is just because they're noisy. So it's not a big deal when your pen is like unclicked and out, or you know, like in the tube. It's not that noisy, but when you have it clicked, then it rattles, and I can hear that when I'm editing, and it might be just something that bothers me, but it is a really bothersome annoyance. That's a terrible phrase. And now that I'm running out of room in my pouch, we are going to move these all over. For those of you that don't know, this is Kim's Art Box. I've had this for eons, and it just holds all of my most used planner supplies. You can see I love these Friction pens. There's a second set in here. I used up the green a couple months ago, and I had an extra set, so I went for it. Also in my planner box, I noticed it this morning when I was pulling out the Friction pens. I didn't think I had one in here. I thought I had used them all out because I tend to use them to the point of them running out of ink. So I do have one in here, but I pulled out a black and a blue one this morning out of my fresh boxes. These are so nice if you want just a generic ballpoint pen. They are super comfy to write with, and I've used mostly black. My blue box is still pretty full. My black box I'm down to like 4, which I think says a lot about a pen to keep repurchasing them. I love these things. I brought out this Tool pen for 2 reasons. One is Tool just has nice pens. I don't think I have too many in here right now because I have a container that has most of them sort of combined together. The ones that are out are just the miscellaneous ones that I've pulled over the last couple of weeks. But I wanted to talk about brown. Same thing, brown is one of my favorite highlighters because brown is better than gray, and Tool has a brown pen. I also have a brown Papermate Flare pen, also great pens. Haven't been using them a bunch recently. Brown is where it's at. I think we need to make brown a more common color to be working with because it's still neutral and it's still dark enough to read, but again, brown is way better. This is a Bic round stick grip. I bought them on a whim with Cal because they were purple, and who didn't want a purple pen? I wish I had a better explanation, but I really, really do like these. I use these also a lot for daily lists. And then I have a Pilot G2 pen. This is not a favorite. I'm just gonna straight up say that right now. I do not like the 07s. I know they're a cult classic, but I think the 10 is the way to go. I had a blue size 10 a couple weeks ago. I rediscovered it somewhere. I don't know if it's under the bed or what happened to it. I'm so disappointed. But yeah, the 10s are way, way, way better than the 7s. If you do not like an inky pen, the 10 is not going to be yours. I just love the thick, dark lines that the 10s give you. So things that go along with pens would be like whiteout correction tape. This mystery thing right here is my favorite I have ever used. I keep this even though it is entirely empty and it will not roll anymore. I keep this with hopes that sometime in the future I will find out what this is. There is no name brand on it. And I found a similar looking one with like the clear container on Amazon a couple of months ago, but it didn't quite look right, so I don't think that's right. If anybody has an idea what this is, please let me know, because it is magic and I don't know where I got it to get a new one. Like I said, this one's empty. These are the 3 various kinds that I have sitting in my desk that I just kind of rotate between. This one I tend to keep in the side of my pencil case because most pens are shorter. It allows extra room for the bulk of correction tape. And then I guess Bic is my favorite brand. I did not realize they were all Bic, but there you go. We're gonna do this one next because it looks similar shape to those guys that we just went over. This is an adhesive roller. I do not like this one because it's removable. I hate any sort of removable adhesive, most of which is I am not picky enough to want to move anything, and so when things keep popping up on me, it drives me bonkers. I want to stick it down and that's where it's going to stay, because I don't usually put things down until I'm confident I want it to stay there. So this is not a repeat when it's finally done. I just don't have permanent adhesive, which is my favorite. There's a red one, I think it's Scotch brand, that's really good. I like that one.
Get you one of those tape runners, Kimmy.
I have a tape runner. I don't like tape runners.
This is the one I like.
I have
It's the Scrapbook Adhesives Easy Runner.
I have Scotch Permanent.
Other adhesives, same thing. I've got glue sticks. Ooh, this is the one that I keep in my crafting container with all my Happy Planner stickers. There's pouches on the side. I usually keep this Elmer's in there.
But glue stick is life.
It really is. Although I don't see anyone ever using glue sticks. And, you know, shame on them.
I hate glue sticks because they're sticky.
I thought it was repositionable, but it feels like it usually glues pretty well, which makes me think that it's not, and I don't see on here that it is repositionable. I just kind of assumed because it was Elmer's that it was, but maybe it's not. I don't know. This one does say it's repositionable. This one is in my very, very bottom drawer of backup supplies because I hate repositionable things. If I want it down, I'm going to want it there. And if I don't want it down, I'm just not going to glue it yet. I don't know, it's not that hard. Some people love their repositionable items, and I just can't handle it personally. So the glue sticks and the roller adhesive are used on my craft paper spreads. I love using craft paper. I'll insert a couple of pictures so you can see some past ones that I've done. This is a Happy Planner punch that specifically gives you the exact box size as their planner, and those stickers are essentially the same size as an Erin Condren. This is really, really good. I love this. I've used it a million times. I actually stole this from Cal because it used to be hers and she doesn't do craft paper. So thank you to Cal for that. It's an Erin Condren dashboard. I do not use this clipped into my planner, mostly because it's a lot of popping in and popping out to change it on a regular basis. If I were to put it in the back of my planner where I don't have to keep popping it in and popping it out, then I don't look at it. So it actually works best just floating around like a little lamination thing for me to write on. I use the Erin Condren wet erase markers. Before I started making my videos, I used to just flip back and forth with my monthly when I do my planning, but I don't like doing that on video because it's a lot of extra editing for me. So I go through and I kind of figure out what I'm going to be writing, and then it gets transferred into my planner when I do the video. I just have this propped up and I can see it easily. I'm going to throw in my calculator because this is all about planning supplies, and when I am doing a budget, which is very, very rarely because I am so bad about it, but it's a lot of things that I would like to do. I want to be someone that budgets. I like an actual calculator. I have coworkers that calculate everything on their phone, and I just think it's tacky and obnoxious. Back in the day, I used to use a bunch of washi tape. This container is all of my washi tape. These are the cards that I use to cut the washi tape. So if you want to know my favorite washi tape ever, I don't have it because I used it all up, but it came with this poop washi tape, and it was basically a sparkly brownish color. Again, brown is the best. I'm just gonna keep saying that the whole video. I don't think it's sold individually, and I don't need a whole tube of poop washi tape. Otherwise, I would consider repurchasing it. Okay, now that we are done with sort of like the planning supplies and the accessories, we're gonna go into more of like journals. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!